My name is Abdullah Talib Mosi Bey, and this book's been out for about 3 months now. I published this book in April. It's called The Illuminati and Illumination of the Mind, the Ancient Musical Scale, Pineal Gland, Melanin, DNA, and Cellular Memory. And what I do here is I actually place the word Illuminati in its ancient culture, mind, science perspective, dealing with the ancient philosophy and sciences of how to activate the higher brain senses. What the Europeans have done was distorted the word Illuminati and have people thinking, because of social engineering, that Illuminati is some secret organization of Europeans that control the world. All right? Illuminati, the root word is L-U-N, which means shine, and the prefix I-L, which is a form of I-N, which means upon. So to get this book, you can go to my website, moorishcivilletter.net. That's moorishcivil.net. In fact, this is right on the back, my information, telephone number, the website. And to go to the video page of the website, at the very bottom of the video page, you go to the donate button, and the book is $28 and $4 for the mailing. So you send $32 through the PayPal, it's my PayPal account, to purchase a book. So once again, the book is titled Illuminati and Illumination of the Mind, the Ancient Musical Scale, Pineal Gland, Melanin, DNA, and Cellular Memory. The images on this book, what I do is I actually begin to see how all these images are all related. There's symbolic relationship to the pineal gland. Here you have the all-seeing eye, which is symbolic of the pineal gland, the pine cone, the unicorn people are used to seeing, all right, the lotus flower, and also the fleur-de-lis that the French claim to be theirs. They've stolen that from y'all, all right, from our people. The cyclops, eye in the center, all right. You say, oh well, this is our headdress that the Europeans have stolen from us, all right, and our people are afraid of this, right, and which is understandable. I mean, they kill us and they lynched us and they beaten us wearing our headdress. All right, so you see here the shape of it in the form of a pyramid. All right, you also the elephant. The elephant is used because the elephant is a symbol of memory. The elephant has a huge temporal lobe and can store a tremendous amount of memory. In Hindustan, Sindhu, which is Arabicized as Hindustan, modern English form India, there's an annual festival called the Festival of Diwali, where they have huge statues of elephants. But what they do is they actually worship the statues, when in fact they're the elephant. Meaning that when I mean that they're the elephant, the people themselves are the elephant. Meaning that it's symbolic of cellular memory. So they've taken the cellular memory understanding, all right, and has a symbolic relationship of the elephants, but the people, that knowledge has been lost because the people are worshiping the elephant. There's no need to worship anything. It's to understand what it is and its function, and it's tied to cellular memory and how to tap into that to have access to ancient cellular memory. And you have here the Uraeus, here statue of Kintut, Uraeus here, the cobra, and they have the Eye of Heru, and the dragon, snake, leviathan, asp. Now the snake has been misrepresentative as let's say, well, you're a snake in the grass. When someone wants to refer to you as deceptive, they'll call you a snake, but that's connotative. That's a deceptive, distorted meaning. Snake referring to, snake means wise. So if I were to call, someone a snake, I'm giving them high honor. But we already know that that's not how it's used today because of European social engineering. Snake is not used in that context. I understand that. That's social engineering. That's European social engineering to suppress ancient culture. So they have the general public using snake in a distorted manner to suppress the culture. So you can feel free to call me a snake anytime. That's a high honor. They took that which is the European occupiers of Moorish land. And that Moorish land is the general public have called part of Moorish land United States. United States of America, US, USA, which is not, those generic terms do not refer to any landmass at all. So I just wanted to give people, a quick synopsis of the cover, and so they can have some relationship there. Now, on the back of the cover, you see there, I have the etymology of the Illuminati, also deists. Europeans also take your title, deist, D-E-U-S, right? D-U-S is referring to light, coming from the bilateral root system, the Egyptian, I-E, you have the I-E, I-O, I-U, and I-A. The name Jesus comes out of that, Yah, Y-A-H, Jah, J-A-H, Deist, D-U-S, Jesus, Jesus, Yahweh, Jehovah, all comes out of those four root words, i.e., the I-E is Egyptian, I-U, Chaldean, I-O, Phoenician, I-A, Babylonian. And so what the Europeans have done was they created a language stock called the Semitic languages, stemming from those four languages, or those bilateral root system. The quote-unquote Semitic language stock, it functions on a trilateral root system. So you have your ancient language stock of the Egyptian, Chaldean, Babylonian, and also Phoenician, which are based on two letters. Bilateral means two letters. So from the two letters, they structure a three-letter system called the triconsonantal root system. So there's a relationship there. So they did that for control. So now they claim, Hebrew's the ancient language. No, Hebrew's not an ancient language. What do you mean by ancient? All right? So just wanted to give people a synopsis of that. Now, question is July 4th, 1776, the birth of America? And your question would be, what do you mean by that? Of course it is. Of course, 1776, July 4th, is the birth of America. You silly fool. They signed the Declaration of Independence. Thomas Jefferson, and 17, July 4th, 1776, the Declaration of Independence, the birth of America. Why would you ask such a question? That's how I always answer. We learned that in school. We learned in school that July 4th, 1776 is the birth of America. Where you going with this, Abdullah? Why would you ask the obvious question? The obvious answer would be yes. No, it's not. The answer is no. July 4th, 1776 is not the birth of America. What the Europeans have done, and you'll see in the second portion of our presentation, was apply the name America and the name American to themselves, distill the land, distill the birthright. And I'll go more detail with that. Now, what are they celebrating on July 4th? Oh, you say, their independence. Why would you ask us a question? We learned that in school. We learned in school that July 4th is the celebration of the Europeans' independence from Great Britain. Why would you ask us the obvious question? They're not, that's July 4th is not the celebration of independence of Europeans, the colonies breaking from Great Britain. July 4th is Egyptian New Year. July 4th is the Egyptian New Year. So now we're going to get into that. How's July 4th the Egyptian New Year? What does that mean? It's called the Helical Rising of Sirius. Rising of Sirius. Sirius is referred to as the dog star. And the reason why Sirius is referred to as the dog star because it's in the constellation of Canis Major, the great dog. What occurs astronomically, the word H-E-L is your root word, it means sun. The Latin word is sol. All right? You have the word holy, deriving from the Greek. And hell, H-E-L-L, and holy. And hell, this is a form of hell, all right? Which means sun. So the Holy Bible is a sun book, S-U-N, book. So the helical rising of Sirius, as in the AL, the suffix means pertaining to the sun. What occurs is that the dog star Sirius and the sun are in 0 degrees of separation. That's called a conjunction. They rise at the same time. Sirius can't be seen for a period of 70 days. That's what's called the duat, or Sirius is behind the sun. All right, beginning from around April 20th, April 22nd, Sirius is behind the sun until it's what? Rising in conjunction with the sun. And that cycle of Sirius is 365 days. Remember that number, 365 days. It's the cycle of Sirius. We're going to show you that the calendar that you used all your life is an Egyptian calendar. You have never used any other calendar in your entire life. But what do you mean? I thought it was the Gregorian calendar, and then before that was the, the Julian calendar. What do you mean? No, it's the Egyptian calendar. All right, we're going to go into detail. Now, in Masonry, they have what's called the winding staircase. The winding staircase. This is a picture of the winding staircase. You see that there's three. Do I want to get a little closer? Find here? All right, I didn't know that. All right. There's 3 sets of stairs. You have the first set. You have 3 right here. That denotes Orion. Orion's belt. Orion's belt is the pole star of 3 stars. 5, there's 5 stairs, that represents Taurus, as Taurus is a fixed constellation of 5 stars. The 3rd set, there's 7 stairs, all right, representing Pleiades. Pleiades is a constellation of 7 stars. So you have what they call your 3, 5, 7. 3, 5, 7. And the all-seeing eye, representing Sirius, the dog star. So that's called the celestial alignment, or great celestial conjunction. That celestial conjunction or celestial alignment occurs also on January 1st. On January 1st, it can be seen in this northern hemisphere, where you are right now, where we are now. On July 4th, and there's about, it can be seen in Egypt. So they're also celebrating on January 1st. It's tied to the Egyptian calendar. The ball in New York is symbolic of Sirius, the dog star. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year. Well, what they're actually celebrating is that alignment that can be seen, which is Sirius, Orion, Taurus, and Pleiades, 3, 5, 7. Now, also here you have the Freemasonry tracing board. And the Freemasonry tracing board ties to the winding staircase. How so? You have these 3 pillars. You have your 3 candlesticks, your 3 pillars here. You have your altar, they call it a Masonic altar, and your 3 candlesticks. So the 3 candlesticks and the 3 pillars and your winding staircase are all related. The 3 candlesticks and the 3 pillars are the marking points for Orion, Taurus, and Pleiades. So here it is, the Europeans are preserving our culture and science right in our face. But of course, our brothers and sisters who are classified as black, Negro, colored, Latino, African American, Spanish, Puerto Rican, Indian, West Indian, and the United States Census Bureau, they think it belongs to the Europeans, and they gotta pay, the Europeans to get permission to, to even wear you know, their Moorish fez, and to wear their own apron, all right, to wear their compass and square, to use their gavel, to use their diameter, all right. They got to pay, you know, thinking that they got to pay to become part of an association or lodge in order to use any of this, or wearing it on their t-shirts. And that they've been duped, smoked in the head, and thinking that the Grand Lodge is in London. And they send dudes to London. That's tremendous. The Europeans have tremendous mental power over us. Here it is, our own stuff, and we get permission from Europeans who have conquered us, of course. They control the institutions, they control the literature through legislation, and they control our imperial divan. The imperial divan, right? The imperial divan is D-I-V-A-L, D-I-V-A-N, divan. It's on the board. The ancient Arabic order of the nobles of the Mystery Shrine, imperial divan. In the ancient Arabic order of the nobles of the Mystery Shrine, now called Shriners International, they use this title, Imperial Divan, as a structure of the organization. Where did that come from? This is a Moorish Council of Government. This is representative of the Moorish imperial government. So the Europeans are preserving our imperial structure of government in their Masonic order. Now, they also use the title Imperial Potentate. The Shriners use the title Imperial Potentate. The royal monarchs use the title. They use the title. The mystics of the mystic order of the Veiled Prophet of the Chanted Vow use the title Royal Monarch. You have others who use there's several orders that use the title Illustrious, and you have the 33rd degree use the title Sovereign Grand Commander. All those titles, Imperial Potentate, Royal Monarch, and Illustrious, and Sovereign Grand Commander, belong to us. Those are titles that are representative of the title Imperial Majesty or Emperor of Morocco. So they stolen the titles. They're preserving our structure of our government. But of course we don't know the origin of anything. And you'll actually see this title, Imperial Divan, in treaties. Treaties between Morocco and England. Morocco and the Netherlands. Morocco and France in the 16 and 1700s. You'll actually see these titles in several of the articles in the treaties. Imperial Divan, referring to the Moroccan Empire. That's where I get my source from. You find those treaties in the Consolidated Treaty Series by Clive Perry. Clive, C-L-I-V-E, Perry, P-A-R-R-Y. Clive Perry, Consolidated Treaty Series. And you actually will see this title, Imperial Divan. I want to give people sources to empower them. I have my book called Moors and Masonry. You know, some of those treaties will be in the book. Moors and Masonry. We already started the layout for Moors and Masonry. I've been working on the book for quite some time, most of my adult life, studying and researching for this book. It has here summer of 2015, you'll see here, but it's going to be actually in the fall. You'll see here, Moors and Masonry is the title. And I have here, what I do is I place us in our proper perspective. All right, Arasmavaya, Nin, Hanifa, Rakaya, a lot of people know Taj, and Rashan. All right, and I have the Moorish flag, all right, which is the American flag, superimposed over a portion of America. I have the fez here, and also the Great Seal. Below I have the three buildings, the Capitol building, all right, Supreme Court building, the Capitol building and the White House. Below that I have four Europeans wearing our Moorish fez. Above them, who are these apostles? You have three mystics or grottos, mystic order of Bearer Prophets of the Enchanted Realms, established in 1855 in Hamilton, New York, and I have one Shriner. The book topic: the Moorish enslavement and the ransoming of Europeans during the 15, 16, 1700s. We may be examining the transatlantic slave trade story. Book topic 2, the federal government and the imperial divan restored to the Moors. Book topic 3, restoring the Moorish hereditary birthright title noble to the Moors. Book title 4, restoring the Moorish sovereign titles imperial potentate, royal monarch, sovereign grand commander, and illustrious to the Moors. Now the title noble, the Shriners use your title, our title, noble, as an officer of the shrine. No, that's not what that means. That's called birthright theft. They've taken a title that belongs to us, noble, by birthright, by inheritance. It's a hereditary title. You can't buy it. It can't be bestowed upon you. It can't be given to you because you're a member of the shrine. You are born. It's hereditary. We are nobles by hereditary. It's a hereditary title. By blood. It is passed down through blood, ancestry, lineage, national origin, descent, parentage. You can't buy it. You can't buy your way into nobility. Right? So I just want to... Now I have Moors and Masonry Part 2. Moors and Masonry Part 2. This will be out next year, early next year. Moors and Masonry Part 2. And I show a political process of people see this on July. They'll see this a lot on July 4th. They'll see a lot of Europeans and our people, wearing T-shirts, all right, with the part of America and the Star Spangled Banner superimposed over it. They see a lot of this. So what it represents: colonization and secession. Colonization and cession. Those are in international law. You have what's called the eradication of colonialism. You also have here in international United Nations, 3rd decade of the eradication of colonialism, and this is where it comes in. This is the reverse. This is the restoration process. So when you see this here, what it means is the restoration process of restoring the imperial divan, the titles, imperial potentate, sovereign grand commander, royal monarch, illustrious, the title noble, and the land, and the government, the federal government, Moorish federal government, back to the Moors. So this is called decolonization and state secession in international law. As I said before, in the United Nations, they have what's called the 3rd decade. So in the 3rd decade of the eradication of colonialism. You also, in the United Nations, has the United Nations granting the declaration of granting colonial countries and peoples their independence. Now, there's another book coming out, maybe this year, later in this year, called The Masonic Compass and Square and their connection to timekeeping and measurements. Now, I'm going to come back to this. I'm going to come back to the meaning of this. Another book, My Experience Teaching Nationality to over 5,000 students in the Kansas City Public School. This will be out next year. Another book that will be out next year, Commerce and Human Trafficking Disguised as Race. And I have, this is question number 9 of the 2010 census. What is your race? And they have, so we'll go into that later. Another book coming out next year, The Astronomy and Geometry of Christianity. And the book that I'm talking about today, coming from today, is American or United States citizen. Now the astronomical portion about the winding staircase, about the candlestick, that explanation is in this book. That's coming out next year. The end of this year. All right? But the second portion of this presentation is coming from this book, American ? Or United States citizen ? All right? So continue right along. Now, look at this image here. Knights Templar. The Knights Templar use your stuff, our stuff. What does this mean? The cross, that tilted cross placed within a crown. That tilted cross placed within a crown represents the precession of the equinoxes. That cross is tilted at a 23.5 degree angle. There are several streets that are laid out in Washington, D.C. at a 23.5 degree angle, symbolic of the precession of the equinoxes. So that the crown represented the 12 signs of the zodiac. What causes the precession of the equinoxes is the earth wobble and the axial tilt at a 23.5 degree angle. That's what that represents. So I actually show that through images, all right? The book cover, earth being tilted at a 23.5 degree angle. Now you have here, the Royal Arts use this symbol. The Royal Arc uses the what's it called, the triple tau, and within the triangle, the equilateral triangle, and the equilateral triangle is within a circle. The tau, you know as the cross. You know as the cross. All right? Comes from us, not Europeans. There's nothing European, so there's nothing European. You can't show me a symbol that's European in origin. There's nothing of European origin. Nothing of European origin. You'll see people see the tau, this, they see it as this. They see it all the time. You see this on a lot of churches. All right, the word church means circle. And it notes the 12 signs, the zodiac. The word church means circle. Church, all right, Germanic, and circle is Latin. And you'll see the tau, like this. You also see the tau, like this. Erase that, it's up there. Space. You see tau, and you'll see this. That's called what? Ankh. So you have the circle and the tau. So I'm showing you where they got it from. What do they call it? Culture bandits? We're rejecting our own stuff. Because we don't know the origin of anything. Now, what this means, the triple tau, that means there's 3 taus. There's 3 taus, T-A-W or T-A-U. All right, T-A-W, T-A-U, T-A-W. There's 3 tau. This is math, y'all, right in your face. The tau is the 19th letter of the so-called Greek alphabet. Here's the symbolism. I'm gonna teach you how to read. Teach you how to read symbolism. Right in your face. Right in your face. 19 times 3 is what? 57. All right? What does that mean? What is 57, Abdullah? Let's look at trigonometry. In geometry, you learn to measure angles by what? Degrees. In trigonometry, you learn to measure angles by radian. R-A-D-I-A-N, radian. In trigonometry. You're not going to measure angles in trigonometry by degrees. That's geometry. In trigonometry, you're going to be measuring angles by radian. 57 degrees equals 1 radian. Right there. It's math. So this knowledge is used. You have what's called the spherical trigonometry. Spherical trigonometry, meaning that you have plane trigonometry, meaning measuring flat surfaces, things on a plane. You have what's called spherical trigonometry, sphere, S-P-H-E-R-E, sphere, spherical trigonometry. And you can't use plane trigonometry in astronomy and navigation and cartography, map making, and calendar making. You can't use plane trigonometry and measuring backgrounds and of the stars. You can't use plane trigonometry and measuring the distance between two stars. You have to use spherical trigonometry. Why? Because you're measuring things on a sphere. So spherical trigonometry is used in astronomy, navigation, cartography, map making, and calendar making. So this here, this yours, that the Royal Ark Masons use is the science of spherical trigonometry, right in your face. You have your triple, once again, your triple tau, symbolic of the radian, 1957 degrees equals 1 radian, your equilateral triangle, all right, and your sphere or your circle, the math, right in front of your face. So what I do throughout this book, the Masonic compass and square, and their connections to timekeeping and measurements, is I symbolically explain what these mean. I write what they mean. I also I break down the symbols. I show here on the cover. I have here how these. You say here you have Vega, Vopoktiala. You have Cygnus. All right. Altair. So I actually show, see that triangle here, that it relates to this. And I'll have different symbols, images, or I'll break down the images in relationship to the astronomy. That's how I'll have the book laid out. All right, so I just wanted people to see some things here. Now continue right along. In Masonry, I don't have the two pictures of two pillars. In Masonry, you have what they call the two pillars. The two pillars are Boaz and Jachin. Jachin is J-A-H-C-I-N, and Boaz, B-O-A-Z. Boaz is the sun, Jachin is the moon. So I'm going to give you two representations. You have those two pillars, and you'll see those two pillars in churches. Or those two pillars that's in front of churches. They're real high two pillars that's in front of churches all throughout Europe too. You see those two pillars. Those two pillars are astronomical markers, marking the winter solstice and the summer solstice. The science. That's how you reclaim this stuff, y'all. You reclaim it with knowledge. Now, well, that's ours. No, you have to know it. You have to be able to know what it is so that you can understand and reclaim it with pride. The Europeans, the only reason why we're saying it belongs to the Europeans is because they control the literature. They control the institutions. So all we're doing is saying what they say it is. We haven't done research the first. They're using it. They're wearing your stuff. Therefore you think it belongs to them. That's it. We haven't done research at first. Alright, so let's look at Boaz and Jachin. You have the two ancient calendar systems, the lunar calendar or moon calendar and the solar calendar or sun calendar. When you bring those two calendar systems together, it forms what's called the lunar solar calendar. But what has to be accounted for is an adjustment has to be made because there's two different calendar systems that's based on, one based on the cycle of the moon, every 28 days, 13 times 13, all right? Every 28 days, the moon revolves around the earth, all right? 28 times, 28 days, 13 times a year. And as that's occurring, the earth is revolving around the sun, all right? So you're bringing together two different calendar systems. And so adjustments have to be made. That's called intercalation. And when you're adding a day a week or a month to make the adjustment. That's called intercalation. I-N-T-E-R-C-A-L-A-T-I-O-N, intercalation. Now what the Europeans have done, if I have a picture of it. Oh, I thought I had a picture of it. Right here, I do. Right here. The crescent is the scimitar, the Moorish scimitar above the crescent of the star. The shrine is where it is. The shrine is where the Europeans did that. The Europeans, the images belong to us. The scimitar belongs to us. The crescent of the star belongs to us. But it was the Europeans that placed the scimitar above the crescent, so we didn't do that. The European, you'll see the European, the scimitar placed above the crescent of the star, and sometimes it's placed through the crescent of the star. Brothers, you don't want to wear that. Brothers, you don't want to wear that. They symbols belong to you, but you don't want to wear that. Europeans are laughing behind your back. You're supporting your own oppression. You're wearing how they display the images, your stuff, but it represents your suppression. It represents the suppression of the lunar calendar and the Venetian calendar. The crescent and the star. The crescent, you have Professor Kuhn. Google Professor Kuhn and the ancient and the crescent and the star, and it's represented the Professor Kuhn, C-O-O-N, and the archaeological evidence of the crescent and the star in the Middle East. And he'll give you several articles and show you that the crescent and the star was dominant. Amulets, bracelets, statuettes, necklaces, you'll see crescent and the star all throughout Mexico, Egypt, the Middle Eastern area. The calendar is an ancient system. The lunar calendar is an ancient calendar system. The goat of Mendes, M-E-N-D-E-S, out of Egypt. The goat is an ancient symbol of fertility. What the Europeans have done was distorted the goat and made it gory. And you know that image as the devil. They took an ordinary goat, which is an ancient symbol of fertility, a sacred symbol, and made it gory. See what they did? They took our culture and perverted it. Meanwhile, they use it. They did that so that you wouldn't use it. So the devil is good. The devil, on their goat, they made it gory. They did that. They did that. So you do want to worship the devil. Worship means work. Let me break it down. You want to worship the devil. Worshiping the devil is planting according to the lunar calendar. Worship means work. So you're planting according to the lunar calendar. The devil, the image, is the ordinary goat with the horns. The horns are symbolic of the crescent. That the horn, this form of a crescent, is symbolic of the crescent star lunar calendar. So we don't know the origin of anything. They perverted our stuff, and God's afraid of it. Gotta give it to the Europeans. But it's easy because they control the literature and they control the schools through legislation. And they got us from childhood. So it's easy. Alright? Continue right along. Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th. Number 13 is symbolic of the lunar calendar. Once again, as I said before, the moon revolves around the earth in 28 days, 13 times a year. So that 13 times 28 is 364 days. 364 days plus the 1. You have to be 364 days is your lunar calendar. All right? 13 times. So there's 13 months in a year. The word month means moon. Month, mensis, coming from the Indo-European root, me, M-E, with the macron above it. M-E, right there. M means measure. So, moon is a measure of the cycle of the moon. Now, breaking that down, you have, let's go into the sun, the solar calendar. The name Jesus is derived from, coming from the Indo-Europe, the Egyptian word form, i.e., which means sun. Deus, Jesus, Yahovah, Yah, Jah, that's your YA, your JA, which comes from the IA, the Babylonian. So the Jah, or YAH, Jah, JAH, Yahovah, coming from the Babylonian form IA, which means sun. So the Europeans have transliterated the ancient forms of the words into modern forms and can control its meaning as well as distort its origin. So continue right along. Now the two pillars are also representative of the solstitial points. You have 2 points where the sun is at its outer limit. As the parent motion of the sun, it has 2 outer limits. It has its highest point of elevation and its lowest point of declination. And those 2 points are called solstitial points. You have your summer solstice, which is the highest point of elevation, the winter solstice, which is the sun's lowest point of declination. Those points are determined based on the knowledge of spherical trigonometry and astronomy. Our ancestors marked those 2 points thousands of years ago. You have 2 other points they're called the equinoctial points. You have and those are 2 points where the sun crosses the equator. The sun crosses the equator at the vernal equinox, March 21st, and also crosses the equator at the autumnal equinox, September 23rd. So those are forming your cross. All right, your solstitial points and your equinoctial points. Now let's go back to the 2 pillars of Boaz and Jachin. Boaz and Jachin, you have those 2 pillars and your checkerboard floor. The checkerboard floor, there's 64. There's 64 parts or tiles in the checkerboard floor, and it's white and black. The reason why it's white and black because it deals with the shadow. Light, shadow, light, shadow. The path of the sun, we talk about astronomy. The path of the sun, the parent path of the motion of the sun, or the path of the sun, and the shadow that the sun casts. Using the knowledge of math and astronomy, you charting the path of the sun, and you're marking and measuring the shadow that is cast, the length of the shadow. What did that give you? What knowledge? Let you know the time of year it is, also the time of day it is. You know what time of day it is based on the length of the shadow, where the shadow is. You have they call diabolus. That's the Greek word. Diabolus, that knowledge where you put a long stick within the ground. This is ancient, y'all. This is thousands of years old knowledge. The Europeans are just preserving it. You put a stick in the ground, and so that you can mark your points. And the sun will cast a shadow. And you know what time of day it is, and also time of year based on the casting of the sun's shadow. So that's a time measurement. That's a timekeeper. The obelisk is a talent. Oh, look at that beautiful. We just lost the knowledge. Let me take pictures of it. Oh, that's tall. Wow, how beautiful that is. We lost knowledge of it. We lost knowledge of its function. We didn't do it for aesthetics. Oh, look how beautiful. That's not. The culture ain't built on that. The culture is built on the knowledge of mathematics and science. We understand our connection to nature from a knowledge perspective. We didn't just do things blindly. Our ancestors was highly mathematical. We built civilization with the knowledge of astronomy, spherical trigonometry, geometry. We understood measurements, and we used the sexagesimal system, base 60. The sexagesimal system, the clock, 60 minutes, 60 seconds, came from us, based on the sexagesimal system. That base 60 system is used for better, it's used because it's better for precision and calculation. So we got to go back to the base 60 system to get a precision and calculation. This is ancient knowledge. We're talking masonry, religion, folklore, mythology, allegory, fairy tale. Same thing, y'all. That's fairy tale. So since I said the word fairy tale, I'm going to break this word fairy tale down first. Fairy tale, or fairy, means a foreteller. The etymology of fairy is a foreteller. To foretell, to foresee. The word prophet and fairy are synonymous. Prophet, the root word P-H-E-T, which means to speak or say, and the prefix P-R-O, which means forth. So fairy and prophet are synonymous. An astrologer is a fairy. An astrologer is a prophet. And you don't have to actually use astrology to foretell. Let me explain. Your pineal gland. When your pineal gland, because I don't just want to relegate it to astronomy, I want to relegate it to astrology or for fairy and foretelling. An Illuminati, an Illuminatus is a fairy. Illuminatus is a prophet. And that seeing is natural. Once you begin to elevate the Christ rising in you, the open mouth ceremony. The open mouth ceremony is an ancient Egyptian ceremony of raising you from the dead, not literally. It's not a literal raising. So you see the glyph lying down and the feather. Image of someone wearing a feather, filling height. Alright? Now, the lying down is not a physical lying down. That means a mental death. That's when the pineal gland is not activated. I'm just trying to break these things down. When the pineal gland is underused, not activated. So you're lying down. You're dead. You can't see. You're blind. So to make you see, it has to what? Be activated. So the Christ, and from the Egyptian is karas, and it means oil. Karas, to be anointed, as the word anoint means to smear with oil. To be anointed is when the oil was secreted in the brain. And that oil flows down to the sexual region of the body. You have your aprons. The apron covering the lower three chakras, as there's 7 major energy points. You have your lower 3 chakras, 4th chakra, Islam, pledge allegiance, Islam, pledge allegiance, Islam, pledge allegiance, 4th chakra, throat chakra, 5th chakra, 6th chakra, fez, head turban, headdress, crown chakra. All right. See the origin of the crown. All right. Halo, 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 halo is representative of the crown chakra. So the Christ to be anointed, or the Christ rising in you, is where the Kundalini energy, the snake, asp, leviathan, serpent, dragon, begins to spiral up the spine. That Roman, whom you call the Pope, was the Egyptian title. Pope is an Egyptian title. I will never, ever, ever call him the Pope. The Roman who's using the Egyptian title said. The Roman who's using the Egyptian title wrote a letter. The Roman who used the Egyptian title came to Philadelphia. But not the Pope. Don't say the Pope was in Philadelphia in September of last year. Don't say the Pope wrote any letter. Don't say the Pope did this. The Pope did this. The Pope didn't do jack. Yeah, a Roman using the Egyptian title Pope. Say it like that. The Roman who's using the Egyptian title Pope did X, Y, Z. That Egyptian title Pope comes from Ptah. P-H-T-A-H, you sometimes spell it P-T-A-H. The seat of St. Peter's is an Egyptian throne. The word Peter comes from Ptah. It's an Egyptian throne. The cross keys that Roman wears representing the cross keys of Chaldean. Also then went back to Egypt. Cross, and you have the two ox. All right, out here, huge statues. What does that mean? Well, you say it all the time. Double cross. St. George's cross and St. Andrew's cross. St. George's cross, red and white. St. Andrew's cross, red, white, and blue. And they put them together and form what? The double cross. Double cross. He double crossed me. He double crossed me. Tropical cross. The four seasons. The galactic cross. Every 1,252 years. The tropical cross and the galactic cross forms the double cross. That's how they got that. But they put it in front of your face. So we don't know jack about jack. We think it belongs to them. The colors red, white, and blue. Oh yeah, that's the Europeans. Yeah, the colors red, white, and blue. We gotta have our own colors. You know what I mean? See, our colors are red and green. You know what I mean? See, that's our national colors. Yeah, the Moorish colors, red and green. Yeah, that's the Moorish national colors. See, the European colors are red, white, and blue. Lie. What do you mean? Yeah, European colors are red, white, and blue. Lie. That's the colors of the dark star Sirius. Flickers, that's red, white, and blue. I said to you, it ain't nothing. It's the European in origin. Nothing. European in origin. We just don't know jack about jack. Because they control the institutions through legislation and the literature. Therefore, they control our minds. So they claim our culture and practice it in front of your face. And because you so-called Afrocentric, you reject it, like I did. He played me too, like a fiddle. Continue right along. Oh yeah, you got a question.
Can you spell that base 60 system that was known as the proper word that you use? How could you spell that for me?
Sexagesimal. That's S-E-X-I-G-E-S-I-M-A-L. 60. Yeah, 60. Yeah, it's base 60. Alright? And that's the base 60 system. You have base 10. You can have any base system. Any base system, base 10. Which is the decimal system is base 10.
Right.
You have base 60.
According to the number 0 to 9.
Right. 0 to 9. Well, no. The base 60 is 0 to 59.
0 to 59.
That's base. 0 to 9 is decimal.
Right. Base 60 0.
Is the highest number being one less than its base. It's any system. No, not you said 0 to 9. No, that's you're giving me base 10.
Base 10.
Decimal. You're giving me the decimal system. That decimal system, base 10 system, is 0 to 9, meaning that it's the highest number is one less than the base. So the highest number in a base 60 system is 59, and one less than the base. The base is 60, one less than the base is 59. Base 15 system, 14. Highest number 15, one less than the base 14. Whatever.
So it applies.
Right. It's the highest number is one less than the base. So the base 60 system, sesquicidesimal system, is an ancient system that we use, and that gives you precision in calculation. So you have to go back to the sesquicidesimal system, and the clock, 60 seconds, 60 minutes is based off that knowledge. So what the Europeans develop? What European culture? You going where to learn what? You going to England to learn what? France to learn what? Germany to learn what? You practicing what in Germany? You practicing what in France? You practicing French culture in France. You can't. You're practicing German culture in Germany. You can't. You're practicing Swedish culture in Sweden. You can't. Because it doesn't exist. Just we don't know the foundation of anything. That's why. Alright? How am I doing?
Great.
Alright. We got time. Alright, now we have here they call it's the Etruscan symbol, Romulus, the golden calf, it's a Roman symbol, you know what I mean? It's Etruscan, that comes from the Roman, so that's Romulus and Remus, you know what I mean? That was raised by the she-wolf, the Capelline wolf, saying that ain't belong to us, that ain't got nothing to do with us. I keep saying there's nothing in European in the origin. I keep saying that. No, absolutely. What does that mean? That's symbolic of Sirius the dog star. Sirius would be represented as a wolf, as a coyote, using the North American area or Central America area. Wolf, coyote. You have here, wolf, Capelline wolf, and Sirius is the dog star. So that still falls into the dog family, or K9. So that's what that represents. Once again, they're storing our stuff. Now, Sirius is also known as the Eastern Star. You have what's called those sisters of the Eastern Star, or daughters of the Eastern Star, or what's called the daughter of Isis. Now, the daughters of Isis, the word Isis, Greek word, coming from the Egyptian Aset, A-U-S-E-T. So Aset is Egyptian, transliterated Greek word Isis, denoting Sirius the dog star. So they're also members of daughters of Isis. Of course, our sisters don't know what they is. They just say, "Oh yeah, remember daughter Isis." They couldn't break it down. All right. So continue right along. We talking about July 4th now. Or what they're celebrating now. This is what they're celebrating. July 4th. So I talked about that. Oh yeah, so I'm going to go into what they call the Sphinx, which is the Anu Aketa. You have the head, body of a lion, and the head of a man. And you have the Royal Ark Masons used in their banner. In the coat of arms of the Royal Ark Masons, there's 4 characters. a bull, lion, an eagle, and a man, representing Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. Let's go back to the precessional equinoxes. Every 2,152 years, the vernal equinox moves in retrogression 30 degrees. 2,000 years ago, the summer solstice sun rose in the constellation of Leo. Now, it has not always been Cancer. It's not always been Cancer. The summer solstice sun has not always rose in the constellation of Cancer. 2,000 years ago, it was Leo. Why? Leo is before retrogression. Say retrogression. It's what? Leo Cancer. It's not Cancer Leo. We talk about vernal equinox. We talk about the precessional equinoxes. So precessional equinoxes is retrogression. So it's what? Leo Cancer. The line of Judah is symbolic. It means that the line of Judah, J-U-D-A-H, the Chaldean word is Iu. So the name Judah is derived from the Chaldean form Iu. Sun, lion, sun, and Leo. So the line of Judah is where the sun rose in the constellation of Leo. They playing us again. Now, let's go. That's your body of your Sphinx or Anuaketa. The head representing Aquarius. Let's go again. Today is what? The sun, the winter solstice sun rises in the constellation of?
The winter solstice sun.
Winter solstice sun.
The constellation
Capricorn.
Capricorn, right.
2,000 years ago, Aquarius. Remember, so Aquarius, Capricorn. So you have your two ancient markers, your two solstitial points of 2,000 years ago, Leo and Aquarius. Your two equinoctial points of 2,000 years ago, Taurus and Scorpio. So they have the royal arc. They preserve, I'm showing you that they're preserving our culture. The banner, they call the royal arc banner, Taurus, a bull, lion, eagle, and man.
Face.
That's just our stuff. But we don't know the origin of it.